Hi Leo, Sun and Rising. Welcome to a video looking at the transits of Saturn and Neptune in Aries beginning in 2025. Neptune will enter first on March 30th and Saturn will enter on May 24th. Both of these planets will go retrograde at some point later in the year and go back into Pisces into 2026, where they will re-enter Aries and then proceed forward. So for Leo people, this will affect your ninth house, which is Sagittarius's house in astrology. Therefore, it's a fire house. So you're a fire sign, Aries is a fire sign, and Sag is a fire sign. So this is a trine to you. These two planets will trine you. And I do want to remind everyone that this is a general reading. So that means that the dates that I give may not correspond to when all of this will transpire for you. And that includes the trine angle that has to be within a certain degree span as well. But it's always nice to just even hear the general forecast because it will come to pass sooner or later. And so anyway, I'm going to start with Neptune because Neptune is entering first on March 30th, as I already stated. And when Neptune enters the ninth house, then there's a connection there because Jupiter is a ruler of Sagittarius, therefore the ruler of the ninth house. And Jupiter is the ancient ruler of Pisces, which is ruled by Neptune. Neptune rules the 12th house in astrology, so the 9th and the 12th houses have some similarities. So when Neptune goes into the 9th house, I like to think of the 9th house as the house of organized religion. So the 8th house of Scorpio and the 12th house of Pisces, both water houses, I think of as spiritual houses. The ninth house, I think more of a religious house. And we're talking about religion as in organized religion, as in these organized philosophical frameworks, because the ninth house could be your life philosophy. It could be any way that you choose to make sense of your life and the meaning of life. And that's just one part of the ninth house. But I just want to speak on that as Neptune is there because Neptune is associated with spirituality. So when Neptune rules your ninth house, it brings a touch of the mysticism to this house. So if you're somebody who is, let's say you're a Catholic, and you are also interested in astrology or what have you, these kind of esoteric occult topics, when Neptune enters the ninth house, you might even have some kind of mystical experiences that involve deities that are kind of associated with organized religion. I have a video already up that deals with people who have their natal Neptune in the ninth house. So you will see the same themes emerge where a person who has it in their natal chart, this may be something that they always have been able to do, which is like have this, direct communication with Mother Mary or some other figure. And it can really, for people like that, can really strengthen their religion because there's a real component of the personal devotion, I would say, because since Neptune rules Pisces, it's very, Pisces is a water sign, it's very emotional. And sometimes, depending on the type of religion or the person who's involved in that religion, people can get kind of in their heads about religion. Well, something like Buddhism, I think, appeals to people who are very detached and abstract intellectually, mentally. So anyway, this can give that kind of what we would call bhakti yoga, that kind of devotional aspect, and that can deepen your religious experiences. Neptune is also associated with deception. So in the ninth house, because this is about organized religion, be careful about cults and also charismatic figures, because Neptune can indicate that you might be deceived by someone who is a religious figure. And it's not like, I mean, this kind of stuff happens all the time, and it doesn't mean that the religion is somehow bogus or anything, but whenever you get people who have a lot of power and they're in this field that really asks people to let go of their need to control and kind of like let go and let God, it can kind of make people do things that they wouldn't normally do, or obey when they normally would be skeptical. So keep that in mind, because there could be a tendency to be deceived by religion, or I would just say spirituality in general. And another thing that the ninth house represents is long distance travel. So that can indicate someone who travels for spiritual reasons. Maybe you're doing it because you want to train in an ashram. So you want to, go to the horse's mouth as it relates to your religious training. So rather than like training if you're American, training in the United States, you just go to India for your training. Or you just do it for kind of like a leisurely, like traveling for fun, but it's also like you're going to visit temples when you do it. And actually, it could just be devotional, where you are doing it for religious inspiration. You might have a spiritual awakening in a foreign country, and you might find a country that is your dream country, your ideal country. So that might be good, because you might end up moving somewhere that is more in alignment with what you're all about. So that could possibly happen. In terms of the Saturn transit in this area, the ninth house is a house of academia or higher education, so college, university. So Saturn can be career, because Saturn rules the 10th house of career. So when Saturn's a house, that could be where the person is focused for their career. So you might be actually working in a or working towards, or actually working in a university. There can be some kind of delay or restriction with university studies. Maybe you thought you were going to go into college and you find out that your parents don't have the money for it, or you don't have the grades, or whatever it is. That's kind of, there's a block or there's an obstacle. But it doesn't mean that if this happens for you, don't give up, because if that's something that you truly want to do, because you may find that it comes later on. Saturn can indicate hard work, and if you are going to university, you may find that you're really challenged by it. Now, depending on the individual, this may not be such a bad thing. You may enjoy a challenge. So keep that in mind, that, I'm not saying, oh my gosh, you're just going to be miserable and you're going to hate it every minute of it. It just might be a lot of work that you have to do. But one of the big things about Saturn in the ninth house is it can be a test of your faith. Something can come about that is a challenging event, and there might not be any kind of thing that you can do about it. You just have to accept that this thing has occurred, and it's up to you to frame it in a way that can make it acceptable, because there might be a tendency to be disillusioned by whatever this thing is. And I always think of Saturn as passing a test. Do you have what it takes, or are you going to fold like a deck of cards? And I think that Saturn can have a very strengthening effect if a person is willing to have the courage to face it head on, the transit. I just came from my Saturn in the ninth. Let me think. Oh, yeah. I think it's been a few years, actually, since it occurred. And, it wasn't that bad. So I think that it all depends on how you frame things in life. Saturn in the ninth could be traveling for your job, which, for some people, like Sagittarians, if you're a Sagittarius sun sign, you wouldn't mind that at all because you rule the ninth house. But this may be more work than play, and yet you can still reap the benefits of it regardless. If you play your cards right, if you do things in a way that allows you to have some downtime. You could be studying something of a religious or spiritual nature that you want to make into your career. So you might be becoming a yoga teacher, might start to appeal to you, or something along those lines. And that can have an effect for your future, because Saturn is about the future and laying down foundations now for that future. Saturn may prevent long distance travel for some people. And if that's the case, just remember that this too shall pass, because even though Saturn has almost a 3-year transit through one sign, it's a lot better than Neptune, and Neptune will be there several times as long. And Neptune is the ideal. So I think that anything that you put into motion to make this happen, I think Saturn can bless you in that sense. If you lay down the foundations, maybe you do want to live abroad or retire abroad or something like that. And you have to go through some steps and jump through some hoops. Saturn is about discipline and organization, and Saturn can help you to research and put all your ducks in a row and do things methodically. Alrighty then, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated, Leo. If you would like a personal reading, the link is below. Thanks for listening. Bye.